Guys, come on, let's go out in the garden, middle of January, see what's going on. I've got a few questions that you guys have asked me, which makes me feel like we're all inside looking at YouTube. And it makes me happy that you're asking me questions, so I'll answer them for you. But look what a tough life our cats have out here. That's my
Oh,
favorite
that's a
spot.
tough life.
It's a tough life. And if you want to have coffee with cats, meet me around 5:30 every morning. We'll all sit out here. But let's go on down in the garden and we'll I have 3 questions to answer, but I'll show you what's going on in the garden. Here's something that's uplifting. Look at all the growth going on my blueberry. You can see the buds. So spring's going to happen. Of course, I'll be throwing netting over it, sheets over it, because it's January. And in zone 6 here in West Virginia, gardening on the West Fork, last May we had snow, I think the first or second week in May. But let me show you. You've probably seen my video on my larkspur. And the day after all that, when I put it in the snow, we got a nice rain. So this is a good spot. But I will be once, oh, you can see, look at this. Some of my daffodils are up, which I knew out in the front there were. And you can see them coming up. That's a good sign too of spring. But my hellebores, I will be cutting back once I see just a little more growth, the old fall foliage. And I'll do that once I see a little more growth inside these plants for blooms. It's still early here. Oh, good. I can see some fresh growth inside here, right in here. I'm going to give those a couple more weeks. Then we'll come in and we'll cut off all this old dead foliage and we'll see green and hopefully flowers. Oh, look at this. This is nice. But we had that severe cold, but this is nice. And I'll clean all this up in a couple more weeks. I'll take the dead off of my primrose. That'll make them look prettier for spring. But not today. We're just walking through and getting an idea of what winter looks like after
And answering a few questions.
And answering a few questions. The heavy freeze. I have all, my perennials, I try to go no deeper, no higher than a 6. Like those little Siberian squill lilies, they took a hit, even though they say they're 4 through 8. So we'll see if they'll come back. But boy, that was a terrible freeze. That's okay. They're not lost.
It was very cold.
It was very cold. Yeah. And then over here, a question from Mike's outside. He asked me about my elderberry and how it's doing. It's doing great. And he wasn't aware. You can see it's starting to bud too. This is the Black Tower elderberry, Mike. And I'll put information up on the screen. But there are elderberries, the northern type elderberries that you find in the forested areas, and they can get 15 feet tall. This one should only get 6 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. That's why I put it here, because of its beautiful foliage, and then it will get a berry. But this is just 2 years old for me, or going on its second year.
Going on its second year.
Second year.
Last year.
So yeah. So Mike, this is called the Black Tower elderberry. I'll put that information up for you, and you should be able to find it somewhere in one of your nurseries. That's where I found it. I can see a daff there too. So let's go on down here. The other question I had was about the garlic from Porchlight Gardener. She was curious about the garlic, and the garlic's fine. What you want to see with your garlic, this was planted late October, November. You can see some of the dead on it, but as long as you see this
Oh yeah, I thought it was dead earlier.
No, as long as you see this green stalk, it's fine, because you planted early to get a good root system going, and this just indicates it had a really good root system. It'll all bounce back, and it's doing great. We just had a snow Monday. Yeah, and then we had a rain, and it's back up maybe to 49 today, but that's looking good. I don't see, I planted some daffs in there, daffs in here. Oh yeah, here we go. You can start see them coming up. I have early daffodils, mid-season and late season. And this year, in 2022, I just planted the mid to late season because I hate to see my daffodils' heads just fall to the ground because we get those cold snows. I will come in soon. Now that I'm out here looking, you can see the new growth on my sedum autumn joy down here. So I will come in, come and cut back all this foliage here in the next few weeks once I see a little more growth. You can see those little tiny green heads, perhaps, Reg, coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about cutting that and drying that for some reason.
Well, you know, that's what I put in my window box after Christmas. I came down and cut back a lot of these sedum heads, and we probably should dry them, Reg, because you could do a lot with framing those up. It would look really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything in here definitely will need some cleaning. These and I'll come in and clean up not too soon yet because we've got a lot of winter to come. And I won't be doing any pruning of the climbing roses for a while. Trees won't get started until February, but I'm looking around and you can see the pink on the trees, like the Japanese maple. You can see it's ready to bud out. And it's November.
It's not November.
18th. No, it's January 18th or 19th. But you can see it's, you know, it's getting ready. It's almost, you know, it's hopeful when you see these colors on your trees and shrubs that you can't stop Mother Nature, really. So come on up here. Let me put this light up. The animals run through here. I don't think it's been deer though, Reg. I did go ahead one day and clean up. I know I'm acting weird going through here, but this spotlight looks so nice on my purple trees at night. You have to have sun though. That's a solar one. I think Reg is going to redo my lighting. Just a few spotlights at least. Yeah. A few spotlights. The other question that someone asked was from Belly Up Fish. Hope that's right, Belly Up Fish.
What was it?
Belly Up Fish. Belly Up Fish. Yeah. And they asked, after 9 months of my pathway, how's it doing? It's doing great, even with the freeze and thaw. The polymeric sand really suppressed the grass and the weeds. The polymeric sand, you can see, I knew it would.
Contracted, yeah.
We knew it would contract from the around the rocks. It was just to stabilize them and get them through that first year.
But you didn't have any weed growth.
No, it's not like the patio we did up by the rain barrel, where everything was square and solid, not over roots, because I didn't take any roots out. If you watch that video, and I'll put a link to the video, I just took the grass off and tried to level as best I could and laid this stone down. So Belly Up Fish, my pathways have held up great. And this is a heavily used area all the time. So I'm real pleased with this pathway. So glad I took that grass out. Truly, truly am glad that that grass is gone. But I'm not seeing any more damage on this poor evergreen down here because I've been keeping it sprayed, and I meant to bring that down with me. I'll probably go back up and spray again. But what I did do is I did repair the fencing, the netting that went across there, and I'm sure that's helped deter any deer coming back through here again. So those are all good things. And I'm looking to see my larkspur. Oh, I can see daffodil there. It's early, you know, you come out and it's fun to look around and see what's happening. But
here's what's happening right now. Look at these two.
I know. I love it when Midge and Mozart play. That's how they play. So that's January. That's what it looks like. We need a little repair on the little chandelier.
I've got my eye on a new light fixture to put in there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think you could repair it. It would be fine. Anyhow, let me just take a look over here and see if there's any daffodils coming up, because these are the early ones. They're a little white daffodil that I have in here, and I don't see any yet, but it's early. I could do a little weeding. Won't do that today either. My sister's coming down today, and we're going to spend the day. It'll be fun. And I think that's it, you know. Everything's looking good. I just need to get in here. Oh, see, this looks like deer chewing. Look how this is ripped off. That could have been from, several weeks ago when I first spotted that they'd been chewing on the other one, but I have sprayed 2 or 3 times. That's what happens when they get hungry. They love the daylilies and they love your hostas. Um, but anyhow, I am very, very pleased with how everything's looking in the winter garden, and I can see spring coming. So thanks for the questions, and thanks for subscribing. New subscribers, again, we're in West Virginia, Zone 6, and I tend to garden still as a Zone 5 because our weather is so iffy, as everyone's weather is. And it's always best to plant at least 2 zones below where you live, particularly if you're doing it in pots and things. But otherwise, get out, check your garden, and there's always something fun to be planting. We'll see you the next time. Bye.